Welcome, Molly, to the Not Done Yet Movement podcast. I keep saying come up with a song or come up with a little jingle because it's very long, but it gets the point across, correct?
Yes, we are not done yet.
We are not done yet. And I'm so super excited to be sitting here talking with you because we've known each other for a little while.
Yes.
Yeah, for a few years. And
hmm
I think that you are a phenomenal woman
hmm
with an amazing soul and a beautiful spirit. And you have raised an incredible family and moving around the world. And I admire you so very much. So, this is exciting for me to spend some time talking with you in the month of confidence.
And it's funny because I would have given you the exact same intro.
Oh, yay, us.
I know, right?
Yay, us. So I met you because you followed the same career path that I did, and that was to become a US diplomat,
Yeah.
right? Which for me, and I don't know, I can't speak for you, which was an amazing path. I always say if I couldn't be a Beyonce, I was a diplomat. I felt just as like, yay. How was it for you?
It was the most amazing career and lifestyle. There's kind of this blurry line when you're serving overseas, when you're serving as a diplomat in another country, the lines between work and personal really do blur.
Right.
And the space is different and how you engage is different, and you're on 24/7. So
Yes,
it doesn't mean if you're at a school activity or out at the club, people still know who you are and you are representing
you are
um,
representing.
all of the time. So it is a lifestyle and it was a career, and it was a calling. I felt so passionate about sharing American values and creating partnerships and building alliances and creating opportunities for exchange. Like it was just a really beautiful impact on lives. And when you would find out that this Fulbright program or that cultural exchange or that interview changed someone's life,
Yeah.
it was just really beautiful.
Okay, so you were successful in doing that.
I
It
was.
was an amazing and beautiful life, but you
Yes,
stepped away from it. So,
I did.
what was it that called you to leave something that was so sure that you were good at to go into something that was unknown?
So excellent question. And there really are two parts to it. I started feeling that there was something else that I needed to do, but I didn't know what it was.
Mm,
But I had sort of a feeling of kind of like the itchy feet when it's time to move,
yeah,
but I wasn't looking to move to another country. Um, I went through the process of looking for a next job, and what I realized was I was pushing for a higher level job because everyone else told me I'd be really good at it.
right.
And I didn't get the job, and I was very, very sad about it. But then I realized I was sad because of other people's expectations of me.
Oh, wow.
And when I sat with it, I realized I don't know if I wanted this. And it's probably good I didn't get it. And I only put myself out there because everyone had told me I'd be really, really good at it. And you stop and kind of think, holy cow, when did I lose control
Right.
over my future? But
Yeah.
I needed that like no to realize, okay, it's not a path. But then I thought, I didn't want to be on that path. And so I really took a minute to step back and say, what do I want? And I think, as women, it's really easy to just kind of
Yeah.
follow the flow of what everyone tells you you should be doing. And I hadn't stopped. I made decisions based on what was best for my family and what was best for my career, but it was external input of what the next step should be.
Right. Oh my gosh, you're speaking my language. You're telling my
Yeah,
story.
but it was powerful, but it took a lot for me to get there and to feel comfortable to say, hold on, I need to take a deep breath because I don't know if this is not what I want. How did I get myself here? And then the second half of that was the State Department started heading in a direction that I didn't agree with. And I need to be able to sit across the table from kids, parents. I need to be able to look into the mirror
Exactly.
and be proud of what I've done in any given workday. And
Oh,
I realized I wasn't going to be able to do that. So those two kind of paired together
right.
was what made me stop to listen about what that next calling was.
That's huge. And that took courage, right? Took real courage. So with that comes, and I'm speaking personally because everything you said pertains to me. So I know that there are fears that come with that. And how do you overcome? What were those fears and how did you overcome them enough to actually do it? Because a lot of people say, I want to, I'm going to, I'm waiting for this to happen, but it's all because fear stands in their way. So what were the fears and how did you overcome them?
I still have the fears and I have not yet overcome them, but I think I'm more comfortable in that space of not knowing.
Mm,
Um, Val, I think you hit on a really key thing, especially with government jobs. There was such security in knowing I had something next, whatever it was. I might not know what it was. It
right,
might not be something I like or in a country that I wanted to go to, but I always had that security in knowing I would have an onward job.
right,
Now, last summer, there were a lot of rifts and all of USAID was shut down. And that security was kind of turned up on its head.
right.
I made my decision before that happened, but walking away from security is really hard.
Yeah,
And with a career where your life is so fused with the work, your identity is at risk. And so the fears were many. One, can I do anything in the private sector? Two, does my experience count? Because in the diplomatic world, everyone speaks multiple languages and everyone lives in different countries. And so I was just one of many, many, many people who had these skills. And
right.
so I kind of thought, what if I'm not marketable? And
Mm,
how do I translate what I've done into something that is private sector? So interestingly enough, I started working with a leadership coach because I needed to figure out what kinds of jobs and what kinds of companies I wanted to apply to. Because I've made the decision it's time to leave, which was hard, but then to put yourself out there and actually apply for jobs. And
yeah.
this was sort of January, February of, what was it, 25, right? And so early days of a lot of uncertainty, the whole, economy was on pause, waiting to see what was going to happen. So I started working with a coach, and in that, we talked a lot about values, and we talked a lot about identity, and we talked a lot about what I derived joy from
Yes.
in my conversations with her, I realized the jobs that I really enjoyed were where I was kind of working one-on-one with someone, or I was facilitating or leading a workshop on something that would make a workplace better. And I mean, I've never worked in HR or anything like that, but I did a lot of DEIA work
Right.
and working on inclusive leadership was really where I found my spark.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was reflecting on that with the coach that I realized that was the best job for me ever. I found such joy in that. And so she helped me kind of dig down. And with that certainty and with that confidence in the joy, the spark, you know, pizzazz I felt in that role, that confidence in knowing I found something where I was really like in alignment with me,
Yeah.
that was so much bigger than any of the fears. That certainty made me feel better about the fears, if that makes sense.
No, total sense. And I think that is absolutely beautiful
Mhm.
because, to go from a secure job, you have a paycheck, like it's coming to you every 2 weeks. You know that your family is fed, you have a roof over your house, everything is
Yeah.
taken care of. Like you might splurge today on something, but the check is coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, and realizing that that safety net is going to be taken away because you're going to follow something that gives you joy.
Right.
And there's no more safety net with that. In
Zero.
your case, there's no more safety net with that.
Zero safety net. And how often do women follow joy? Like,
Exactly.
honestly,
No, I agree. I agree.
how often do we eat the cold dinner or do we take the burnt piece of the whatever? Or how often is it like, no, I don't care if we go to Japanese or Mexican. Like,
Yeah.
when is it that we choose joy? We generally choose peace in the family and in the workplace, but not joy.
Oh, you are so right. Next month, September is our month of joy. That's our theme because
Love
that
it.
that is so huge. And I think, and now you're a coach. First, we have to step back, right? Because
Yes.
now you are a coach, right? And
Yes.
you are leading people to finding their joy. And I'm going to let you talk more about that. But I just want to step in because you can coach me on this one. I think that especially as you get older, we have this struggle and this battle when it comes to what should we be doing, where should we go, the security, the safety blanket, and all of that. So to follow joy is huge, and I'm at the point that I want joy, and for me, joy is helping others. Right, my impact is I want to give back, and I've been trying to give back to women forever because we don't look in the mirror and give ourselves what we need. We give everybody else, but we don't give it to ourselves. And one of my children, very recently, brought tears to my eyes because I don't live in the US and I don't live near them. And I was saying to someone, back in the day when grandma lived on one side of the country, you lived on the other, and you visited grandma for Thanksgiving and you saw her like periodically, but you didn't see your grandma all the time.
Yeah.
But one of my children actually said to me, well, when are you just going to come back? When are you just going to be here? And it took me by surprise. Not that I think I'm the best mother in the world, but you try to do your best. And one of my other children said, because it hit me hard, and I want to get a nine-nine house. I'm a nine-nine. I'm not a grandma. I'm a nine-nine. Uh,
Hmm.
Luckily, I was going to China when I had my first grandchild, so I can go with that.
Yeah.
Uh, and I want a nine-nine house in the U.S. that I can go and my grandkids can come and visit and they'll be at their level, cooking and everything. But to actually live there full time is not where my joy is coming from. And my middle child said, Mommy, it's your turn. It's your turn. So I throw this back to you and about joy and women not having joy and you being a coach, the struggle between guilt and joy.
Hmm.
What do we do with that? How do we overcome that? And maybe that's
Well,
really heavy for this period, but
no, absolutely. But that's exactly what it is. I think the first part of that is recognizing that it's guilt or shame or habit. It might be a pattern. It might be something that we have just done or chosen or has been chosen for us for so long that it has just become a real pattern behavior.
yeah,
And so the first part is uncovering those patterns and trying to figure out what serves us and what doesn't. But to stop and really dig in and figure out what is the pattern here and why am I not choosing joy?
right.
Why am I choosing sacrifice again and again and again?
Yeah,
Or why am I choosing the broken piece of whatever when I could have you know, what is the pattern
yeah,
and why do I settle?
right.
And some of that is how we talk to ourselves. So it's thinking about that. Would you talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself?
Oh, I love it. Yes, I
Right.
love that.
Sometimes it's, you know, dreaming too small. I like to say, what is your biggest dream? Okay, now let's add a zero to that. How do
Yeah,
we make it, instead of 10, how do we make it 100?
yes.
Because if you're not dreaming it, it's not achievable. So it really depends, like what is the pattern that is limiting us? What serves us? Because sometimes patterns continue to serve us.
Right, right.
Um, I think one of the hardest things that I find in coaching women is so often what's limiting us is a relationship where we had to protect ourselves. And
Mm,
it could be a parental relationship where, um, you know, Val as an 8-year-old was mediator between parents, or Val as a 10-year-old had to navigate all of the financial things of the family because the family didn't speak English, or, whatever role that we as children took on. And we somehow learn to protect ourselves in that role. And that part of us gets really tired. And
yes,
so to find a way to give ourselves permission to stop that pattern, whatever it might be. Um, and that's, not easy, but it's really important work because then we can have that alignment. If
yeah,
joy is one of your core values and you're not choosing joy, you're going to be out of alignment and it's going to feel off. And so, how do we get back in alignment with those values? And sometimes it means we have to break a pattern or give up a part of ourselves that's been working overtime. Like that little 8-year-old or that little 10-year-old is working too much. And you need to just say, look, I'm all grown up. I do not need you anymore. It's okay. I got this.
yeah,
And that, little Val can take a break. So it really depends, but a lot of it has to do with analyzing the patterns. What is my pattern? Why? What serves me? What do I do about it? What am
yeah.
I willing to do about it?
You know what I think is really beautiful about all that you've said? And it actually brings tears to my eyes, seriously, because when I started the Not Done Yet movement, my whole premise was going after women like 38 and up. 38 because you're getting ready to hit 40 and you're hitting this phase of where your kids are starting to get older, your parents are getting older, you're going to start parenting your parents. Are you in the right relationship? May it be whatever relationship that is. Are you in the right one? Do we shed a skin when it comes to the people that are around us? All of these different things. And then as I started talking to more women about this, younger women were saying, well, Valerie, can we be on the peripheral? And I said, oh, you know what? In our first in-person meeting in Dubai, I realized that I needed not to limit it. What you just said brought tears to my eyes because I needed that when I was in my early 30s.
Yeah.
And I mean, I finally got to it here as I matured. We don't have to talk about the age, but I've I've gotten to that point. But I would have loved to have done it, and I have no regrets. I am who I am, and I
Mhm.
am here, and it's not worth it. Regrets aren't worth it. But what you are teaching and coaching, I wish you were there for me,
Mm.
late 20s and early 30s, because that would have made a huge difference on everything in my life, not just me, but how I raised my children, right? What I offered to them, how I moved in this world, how I behaved, and what other people got from me, and how I impacted them. So I'm grateful that you are doing what you're doing now. And I'm also grateful that this is no longer just for women 38 and up. I want women to get what I didn't get
Yep.
from you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I have one question before we cut it off because I could talk to you all day long, and we're gonna have to
I
do this
know.
again. But I love this question. Molly, imagine you're sitting across from the woman you were on your very last day as a diplomat.
Very last day.
As a diplomat,
Hmm.
what would today's Molly whisper to her before she walked out that door?
Mm. So I have to tell you that um, I had a great retirement party, and people who were really important to me spoke at my party. And there was food, and there was wine, and there was good times and memories. And my cake said, "Bye, bitches." So as I was walking out, I was really embracing the closing of that chapter.
Yeah,
Um, but it was scary as all get out. Like it was scary.
yeah,
Um, I think I would have whispered in my ear that the people who matter will always matter, and others will fall off my radar, my text chains, my emails, whatever, and to not worry about that.
yeah.
To not worry, don't lose a moment of worry about the folks who I thought were important, but
Not so
they
much,
really weren't.
not so
Yeah, like my people, my tribe, my folks have stuck with me
right.
and are cheering me on and they're supporting me and they're loving on me and they're there to pick me up. And the others, I don't need them. And to not worry about that. Yeah, exactly.
Goodbye, farewell, I'll be the same.
100%. But we carry that sort of like, well, I've worked with so and so for blah, 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 blah years and saw them every day by the water cooler, like whatever. Like you leave something and it feels like such an immense loss.
Right, right.
But then you're like, actually, maybe not. But I worried about that. I worried about the people. But the ones who need me and the ones who I needed are still there.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I am over the moon that I got this time and it flew by, which means that there's so much more for us to talk about, which means that you have to come back again
Okay,
and again and again and again and again and again.
happy to.
Because we're not done yet. And there's so
No.
much more for us to do. And I
Yeah.
want to thank you on behalf of all the women that you are helping now and that you will help because you have so much to offer from your experience and your brilliance. And whoever gets to sit with you and learn with you and be coached by you, they're extremely blessed and fortunate.
Thank you. And Val, I want to thank you for creating this movement and for opening it up to women, not just, 38 and up because it matters. And there is so much to learn. And you're creating a platform and a community where we can lift each other up.
Amen. I actually
It's
even have
beautiful.
a woman out of England who's going to start doing a podcast for still not done yet for over 60s.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yay! So be well, not there yet, but it's nice to know that, still not done yet. There's so much more to do, and life doesn't stop because of an age.
Absolutely. And I think just giving ourselves permission that we have so much more to contribute. Like the sky's the limit. No one is limiting us.
No one. And on that note, I thank you for joining us with the Not Done Yet Movement Podcast. Yay! Bye.
Thank you. Bye.